What's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is a an early edition of the Men Like Us podcast. There has been, I don't want to call it turmoil, but something's kind of been going on in our little small community of men who are openly, attracted to trans women and who, count themselves as allies and all that stuff. So, I wanted to have a conversation about that because, we were having some really good discourse in our men's only group, but some of these comments and conversations need to be shared with everybody, with the men who aren't in the group, because I think a lot of men can benefit from this conversation. But, the real question of everything is really surrounding when a man should disclose to his mother, family, friends, whoever, about their attraction to trans women. When is the right time? When is an acceptable time? When is it too late? When is it, whatever. So there's a whole lot of things to go around about this, and we do have kind of a whole conversation ready to go for this. But I will offer this, as I do with the beginning at the beginning of all my stuff, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I don't know what may be triggering to you, but just be prepared for honest conversation in a way that's palatable to men, for men, because this is a show for men by men. So without further ado, I will bring on my guests. Joining us once again from the Real Talk podcast, we have Mike Brooklyn. What's going on, brother?
What's good?
And we have my main man, Roy, from Philly.
What's going on?
So, this is a topic I know that is very close to Roy's heart, and, that's why he's here. Roy has been a very vocal person on multiple Facebook groups, his own page. In fact, that's how I first met Roy, or that's how I first became aware of him. Roy, you put out a post, and it was in like a public cis space, and it was with you and your ex, and you were like, yo, this is my girl, X, Y, Z. There's nothing wrong with this. And the black cis people were just reining in, and it was a whole ass problem. And actually, somebody had posted it in another men's group that I'm a part of, and they're like, hey, y'all, jump in these comments and help this brother out. Like, we need to, it was like a red alert. Everybody show up and show out to support this man who's on the same shit that we're on. So, like, I saw that, and then I followed you after that, and I've been following you after that because you're a very vocally open guy about, how you get down. And, I applaud you for being an example in that way and really showing up, especially when you didn't have a lot of people around you showing up in the way that you were. So definitely applaud you on that, bro. But, fuck it. Let's get to the heart of this, y'all. Let's get into this shit. Because, disclosure it's a piece of the puzzle, and I think it's a piece of the puzzle that people don't really like to talk about. Or, I'm sorry, it's a piece of the puzzle that some people don't like to hear about. Because, obviously lots of other people in the LGBT space are like, look, I got my own problems. I went through my own shit. Like, fuck what you're doing, probably trying to minimize it a little bit because we're, cis het men. And, I trust me, before we go into this, people of the community, trans, LGBT, everybody, period, just know that, like, we're talking about our experience, and doing that, we're not doing it in a spirit that minimizes your experience. We have full respect for all the things that gay people go through, gay men, trans women. We have a full respect for all the shit that you guys have to go through, and not just with disclosing to your family, but day in and day out, the daily traumas. So please understand, like, we have that basic respect, but, we're going to talk about our stuff just in a way that it applies to us. And hopefully, you might learn something new about our experience, everybody watching. So anywho, the crux of all this really started out when, one of the guys in our group, he asked a very honest question, is it okay to wait until you're in a relationship before you disclose the fact that you date women in the trans community to your mother or to members of your family? So, that just led this discussion of, when should a man disclose their attraction? Is it okay for them to wait until a relationship, or should they be doing that as soon as they figure out this is the direction in life they want to go? So I'm gonna kick it over to you, Roy, because I know you have a really passionate opinion about this. So by all means, take it away, bro.
Well, I believe no man should wait. I believe that once they figure out their attraction, at some point in time, they can wait on that, figuring out how they're going to bring it to their family, how they're going to talk, have this conversation. But I believe that conversation has to come from them and them only with their family, not bringing in a woman to have that conversation with them. Uh, I, he has to walk that walk on his own. Like that's his attraction. His attraction is not tied to a relationship. Your relationship is not tied to your attraction. Your attraction is what you feel, is your emotion. So that you have to have that conversation, I believe, on your own with your family.
Mm-hmm. Mike?
I'll be honest, I agree with him. I mean, yeah, like you can wait a little bit, to kind of like get the nerve up to go ahead and, let your family know about what your attraction is or let your friends know. But ultimately, that's between you and them. Like Roy said, it's not tied to any kind of relationship. It's not her business to kind of be your crutch in going to your family and explaining it to them. It's like that's something that you need to be like, look, this is what I'm attracted to. Be ready in the future. I might bring a woman home that might not be of what you're used to, but that's my attraction. That's who I might be with in the future. So be ready, stuff like that.
Okay, for sure, for sure. I think, a piece of the puzzle to all of this really is that, men are on their own journey. We all start one place and we are headed to somewhere else. And, it is a growing process. And, I think that there are some men who aren't ready to have that conversation until I'm sorry, not ready. Well, they're not ready, but they don't want to have that conversation until they absolutely have to. So like they're enjoying being in this space or enjoying exploring their attraction in X, Y, and Z without having to actually take that hard step forward. Because really what it is, and this is just from a Black perspective, part of the I'm sorry, all of this really surrounds how society sees women in the trans community. So if I go to mom, when I went to my mom and said, hey, this is what I'm about, these are the kinds of women I date, X, Y, and Z, it was like, oh my God, my son is gay. They don't see women in this community as women. So it is tantamount to coming out. And, that's why I really was saying a lot like, yo, we are at some place, some way, somehow we're part of this community, because anybody who has to come out, who has to do that is a part of the community. On some
it is coming out. Like it's a coming out story. You know what I mean? Like ultimately you're explaining to family and friends that you are attracted to somebody that they don't necessarily see as, a cis woman and everything like that. So therefore, you are technically coming out to them.
For sure. And I was really wanting to explain this just to set the table for, what's going through their mind and how this interaction goes down sometimes. And it's just like, this is how the outside world views women in this community. They look at, things. I mean, really, in my mind, I always think, these folks are thinking about women in this community like when I say I date trans women, they think I'm dating Holiday Heart. They think I'm dating Ving Rhames in a dress. That's what they think that women in this community really are. So, the parents, a lot of times they go through I'm never going to have grandkids. I'm never going to have the daughter-in-law I always wanted, when obviously they will have that because a lot of these women are absolutely amazing. People that, mothers out there wish, they would be lucky to have as daughter-in-laws, really. But, there's a lot that goes into all of this conversation in the decision-making process and in how things are perceived and the courage that it takes for men to take this step in their journey. Now, it does take a lot of courage for men to do this, but, I will say that I do agree with all the rest of the guys that were talking. What's up, Trail? I'm sorry, I didn't
Hold on.
introduce Trail. So, but yeah,
Roy, what up?
What up, bro?
but it really is this. I did a show, and please go back into my previous episodes. I did a show with Zay, and we did a whole list of things that men should do before they enter into a space where they're going to date women in this community. And really being able to be open with your family and friends is definitely on that list. It's definitely something that you should do before you even attempt to get into this community in dating. It's easier on her and it's easier on your family, believe it or not, because you're not introducing this person to them in at a time where it's raw and fresh on their mind, and they haven't worked through what they need to work through to be in a space where they can support you and your partner. So now your partner has to deal with this raw, unrealized, unfinished version of what's happening, and the parents are like, "Oh my God, Andy brought one around me, like, oh, I can't take it." It's their parents handle things differently. I'm speaking from my Black Christian conservative viewpoint and just my community. But here's the flip side of all this, fellas. We talked about not using the women as a crutch for your announcing your attraction and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I can't fully judge a guy if he says, "I'm going to wait until this point to do this," because while he's waiting to do that, and he's not in a relationship yet, like he's not, in my mind, he's not actively harming anyone. Like in my mind, actively harming members of the community is having these DL relationships with them, hiding them from your friends and family, dating them in a way that they don't deserve to be dealt with. And it's just like where I draw the line at is, are you actively harming anybody by just sitting here growing and learning, but you haven't made that step yet, but you're not dating anybody? So, Mike, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you got to ask the question, like, because, yeah, like there might be some people that might not be harming anybody and might not be doing the DL stuff. But on the flip side, there will be a certain percentage that most likely are entertaining that DL culture.
For sure. Oh, yep. Zay is here. Yeah, we did the show, so please go and see the show that Zay and I did with all the things that we said that guys should consider and have ready to go before they jump into space. Sorry about that, Mike. And I want to make sure I get this comment in here. I have to read it all first. Okay, so Claudette Glaze. Okay, yep. Claudette Glaze says, honestly, I don't think you should have to disclose your attractions to anyone. Just show up. And the only woman who you should have to tell your attraction to is the woman you're actually attracted to. Stop giving them the option to judge you and let them make it make sense on their own. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough point.
I agree.
Fair enough point.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one way to go about it. That is absolutely valid. And dynamics between people are different. Some folks aren't really that close to their family, and some folks, their family is everything to them. I think a lot of stuff really everything really does depend on the couple and the person. And there was a comment here that made sense with this. From Stacey Monroe. I don't think there is one size fits all way to go about it. Each family has a different dynamic. Because each family dynamic is different for each man. Correct. So, I just think, guys, you really have to consider, where you're at in your journey. But I just think that we should all probably just back off a little bit. And when I say back off from trying to engage in with this community when you're not ready for, if you're not at a point where you're ready for everyone in your life to know, then you definitely should not be doing this. I'm not saying you got to run around with a bullhorn saying this is what the fuck I do, but your insecurity, being a good mate in this space, requires security on your part as a man, and women will read your insecurity. If you hesitate for a moment where somebody says, "Oh, hey, hey, Chris, "Oh, is this your girlfriend?" And I'm like, or yeah, she's not with like any if you get that oh shit look on your face, she's gonna read, oh dang, he's embarrassed by me. Like, what the fuck? I thought this dude liked me, X, Y, and Z. Like you have to really be set up and ready to go to handle a lot of different things and exude that confidence that gives your partner confidence in your ability to love her. And we're talking about disclosure with family, friends, and all that stuff. And from I really think the conversation really needs to happen, guys. And for me, I believe it needs to happen, but that's me because I don't. I want my family to be in on what's happening with me. We're very open and communicative about what's happening in each other's lives. So with who I date and who I love, my family is always involved in that. My sisters meet just about every girl that I'm messing with, talking to, whatever else. Like they, in some way, somehow they'll have a conversation with them. And I involve my family in that because they're important. They're an important part of my life, and I just can't, have this life where I'm dating trans women over here, and then my family's over here, and they're completely in the dark. I am just not comfortable with lying by omission. In my mind, I see that as a lie by omission, and I'm just not comfortable with that. But that's just for me specifically. Roy, Mike, and Trell, and you listening, you have your own journey and your own dynamics. I always quote my friend Hope on this: know your audience, you know who you're fucking with. But as a part of your journey, you have to build up the confidence, the courage to have this conversation. It is not going to be easy. Do not expect it to be easy, but go in ready and confident in who you are and be ready to be unshaken, be ready to be unmovable in your resolve in terms of what you're doing, because you're including people in your life, and you have to stand firm in that. Because if they see you shaking, oh, well, this is just a phase. He's not really down about this. Yeah, well, they probably won't take it 100% realistically, but I want to get another comment in here from Zay. Disclosure takes a while. Same way we had to get comfortable. You have to get comfortable, but you can't take forever. Correct. Again, this is a journey. To the women watching this, men, we're going through a journey. Ladies, you had a journey which was far grander than anything we could ever experience in our lives. But on some level, you have to understand, you should be a little empathetic. You should be able to get that these guys that are trying to be with you have their own journey and these own milestones that they have to hit. But I would say it's okay if you tell a guy like, hey, you're not here and I need you to be here, so we can't be together because you're not at a space where you're ready to be open with your family and include me in your life in the way that I would expect to be with anybody else, or in the way that you would do with the cis woman. So like that's totally fine as well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the comments because y'all ladies are commenting, and I want to make sure everybody has their say here. So Ava Darling says, I think it depends on the man and his circumstances, but if you're comfortable share what you need to. Jasmine B Ebony says, oh, please don't be out. It's on a need to know basis. Now that brings up a whole nother side of this, guys. And I really want to know what you think about this. While we say, fellas, y'all need to be open, y'all need to be this, and this. And largely, let's be real, a lot of our thoughts on this subject really comes from what women have told us what they need from men. And they're saying, hey, we're tired of these guys being DL, hurting us, do this, and this. And now we're out here saying, guys, you need to be open. You need to be doing this, and this. But on the flip side, there are some people that believe that it should be the woman's choice. In terms of she should either be a part of the decision or should be her choice completely when you disclose to people around you that she is trans. What do y'all think about that dynamic?
Who's going first?
Go Trail.
Oh, me, it depends on her, how she feels about, how she feels about her comfortability of being trans and being out in public with me and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't care. I let it be known. There's no problem with me at all. I can care less how anybody else feel. You know, that's just how I always been. But at the same time, I have to respect how she feels because
Mm-hmm.
this is her. This is her life. You know what I mean? So I have to respect how she feels. But I do understand because I used to get that a lot because you got girls like you're right. You got girls that always used to say, yeah, you know, I want guys to be out and open with me. Don't see me at nighttime. Be out in the day with me. Hold hands. This and that, that and this. Yeah, I get that, and I'm all for it because everybody do deserve the love and respect in any other relationship. How it go, how a relationship dynamic supposed to go, they deserve that. So I truly understand that. But then again, you got some girls who is not comfortable with themselves that to go out and do that and want to be with a man and do that because they don't want to cause no type of situation. Which me personally, I always say, dude, if you're not comfortable with yourself, how can you want me to be comfortable being with you if you're not comfortable with yourself? And this is something I always say, even back when I was younger, when I actually came into this lifestyle, I was just like, yo, wow, it's like I don't mind doing it because I don't care. I'm with this shit. You know what I mean? I like going back and forth. It ain't nothing. They like to stare. I like to stare too. What's up? So that's just me. But at the same time, are you comfortable with this? Because if you're comfortable with this, I'm all for it. And I'm going to be toe to toe with you regardless. So, yeah.
Brother Roy, how does this dynamic play out with the thought that women should be really the ones who decide when we disclose to family, friends?
Well, it's no decision because if you know me, then you know I'm attracted to women of trans experience. So 9 times out of 10, the woman that I'm dating is going to be that. So what is there to disclose?
Mm-hmm.
That's my take. What is there to disclose? If they already know what you're attracted to and you present them a women, what is there to really disclose? You presented a women, so
is it possible that this
now
is an option that we're taking away by being fully open? Like, I
exactly.
guess it is. And, really, I would say things are headed in this direction because there are other men that are watching this and they'll be encouraged to be more open and kind of step out into that light. But as more men start to step out into that light, it's really going to be you know me, you know who I'm with, so, or what kind of women I date. So there is no step on that. And ladies and guys who are commenting, I will definitely feature your comments. I just want to, get to everybody around the horn before we jumped into more comments. Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of more with Roy on this one because it's like we're talking about disclosure in the sense of like, when you should disclose for yourself on who you're attracted to. So as far as like the woman goes, I shouldn't have to disclose who she is to my friends or to my family or whatever, because before I got into that relationship, I should have already told somebody. So it's like I think like the comment, I think she kind of got it a little bit mixed up, and thinking that we're just waiting till we're in a relationship to go ahead and do it. But it's like that. But the whole idea of it is just like at what point should we disclose our attraction, not necessarily the girl's tea or anything like that.
Yeah. And look, Jasmine there are other women out there just like her. And I've heard this sentiment a few times where it's just like, hey, I should have a say in when you tell people about my transness. She says, shit, I barely want people to know I'm trans. Like there are women out there in the community that do think like this. And, I think as times change and move forward, I think there will be less of an ability for that because so many guys will be out and open. But I get the sentiment on it, and I definitely am not here to dismiss anybody's personal wishes on that front. Mike Biggs, what's going on, bro? Thanks for watching. He said I made it known to my family years before I dated anyone, and that's a road that could be taken. But I definitely am not here to devalue anybody who says they want to wait, because in my mind, you're still disclosing and you're not on the DL shit because I mean, I would say you're not harming anybody at that point because you're not with anybody. But I'm going to catch up on these comments because I want everybody to feel like they're being heard. And observe, where did she go? Okay. Cookie Mio says it depends on how deep into the community that man wants to get. If he is advocating and all his friends are trans man and woman, I think people should know. But if you date 90% cis, then I don't think so. So maybe it's like, and I'm really trying to interpret it. Let me know if I'm kind of off, guys. So I'm assuming she's talking about like if you date mostly cis women, or if this is maybe your first trans woman, then you probably shouldn't be disclosing ahead of time. But I'm sorry, Michaela, I didn't fully grasp the last part of it. But I think I get it, where it's like, maybe it's less of a safe space if all of your friends are just cis people who aren't in this world at all, which is definitely my case. All of my frat brothers from college and people I grew up in the hood and from church, all that stuff. Like, but they all the people that fuck with me have a level of respect for me where they're not going to cross any sort of line, and they're going to watch what they say and how they proceed, because at the end of the day, it's all about respect, and they won't cross any lines on that front, at least in my world. But let's see here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so behind. Okay, so Rena, she said, "Oh, I'm okay with the guy taking a little while to prepare to break the news to fam, but I'm not gonna wait indefinitely, nor will I agree to be their dirty little secret before been there, done that. A lot of women been there, done that, and I think that's how we ended up here."
Right. This is why we have this.
Yeah, like a lot of women been there, done that, and they're just like, "Look,
not
dude,
on my behalf. I ain't never did that." But
yeah, we ain't never done that to nobody, but we've heard from women who have experienced this, and oh well, I never been out to eat with a man. We have only eaten at my apartment. We'll just get the takeout because he doesn't want to be seen in the restaurant with me. Like, I've heard those stories from women, and it's like, that's awful.
Bugged out. It's
awful.
Yeah.
But look, and that's look, Rena, that's dope as fuck that you want to give the man a little grace. I'm totally like, I think we all need to give each other a little bit more grace in this community, men and women, back and forth. Like, I think we need to handle each other way more softly. We've been way too hard on each other. Go ahead.
It sounds like Rena or Raina. I'm not sure what your name is, sweetheart, but it sounds like she's really understanding, what the other side, like what the men go through also, but like I said, like the type of dude I am, I'm with all the shit. I don't care, man. You stare at me, you want to fight, I'm with it too. What's up?
Portia Preston. I think I mentioned this earlier, but she said, I don't see being trans attractive as being an issue. Some things are only as big as you make them.
I agree.
That is not true. I will categorically disagree with that. Only because again, my experience being a Black man, in this country, our community is highly conservative and ruled and dominated a lot of times by the Black church. So yes, I can make it not a big thing, but all the people, my whole family that's indoctrinated on this white religion, so no offense, no shade, but by this, crazy oppressive religion, like, yeah, it is a thing for them. And, they have to figure out, okay, how am I going to support my nephew? Or I can't support my nephew, or I can't support my son. I can't support them in their life because of my religion and my faith and my other bullshit, in the same way that a lot of people can't support Portia in her life. Portia, they can't support you because of their religion and their bullshit. It's less about how big we're making it and more about how big society makes, or I'm sorry, it's more about how society will not accept. It's about how society views women in the trans community. They are viewing women in trans community as men, and therefore we are labeled as gay. And in the Black community specifically, gay means lesser. You are instantly demoted as a human being. And there's just a lot of things going on. This is not y'all are making a big deal out of this shit. It is a big deal. Trust. And it would be disingenuous to let any men out there know that everything's going to be fine and it'll be hunky-dory and you'll have no problems, because that's not reality. Not always. Some people are lucky. But not everybody is.
Yeah,
So,
but what I was saying on that subject is, me personally, I just feel like what she said is big as what you make it. It is big as you make it, because me personally, how I look at it, I look at them as women because I like women. So you know, I look at it as that. Of course, they're a different type of woman.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, I know that, and I'm okay with that. I'm all good with that. But you know, it is big as you make it, because you got some girls that be like, yo, I don't like a trans attracted man. I like a man that like women. You know.
Actually, this goes to Jasmine's next comment. Is I will not walk down the street with a man who has on a "I'm trans attracted and proud" t-shirt. Nope. So, you know, there are, you know, and I mean, that's not something that people specifically do. Haven't seen any shirts like that. I have seen guys walk around with like Black Trans Lives Matter shirts.
Actually, the only person I see with that type of shirt is our brother over here, Roy. So
okay, there you go.
Right.
There you go.
And to be honest, he's a grown man, and that's what he want to do. That's his business. But you know.
Yeah, and it's Jasmine's decision not to fuck with guys who do that, and you know, that is a decision.
Not every man's gonna do that though.
It's highly rare.
No worries.
Yeah, like this is not a community of activists per se, because I think that a lot of guys, like, we have these conversations, but after these conversations, we go to work. We have whole other lives. Like, we got other shit going on. I'm not marching down to the Washington Monument making my own stuff, because I work 50, 60 hours a week. Like, we are talking about this and we're encouraging guys to be more open with their family, but these are not public declarations that we are moving people towards. They can do that, and that's cool if they want to, but it is not required. Definitely not required to make these public statements, get on these streams and do these podcasts and all. It really is just about, you know, creating an environment that's conducive to you dating a woman in this community and doing it in a way where her experience with you doesn't harm her. But, you know, look, everybody has their own opinions, so that's totally fine. And, you know, so Angelo, what's going on, Angelo? That's a homie from Clubhouse. So, and follow me on Clubhouse at MLU Chris, Big Texas Chris. I don't mind disclosing, but no one is entitled to an explanation. I owe nothing to anyone about what's going on between the legs of any woman I'm involved with. Yeah, that's fair enough. Don't really owe anybody anything. Again, I think a lot of what I'm getting at is, you know, are you creating the best situation for this relationship to happen in the way that you want it to happen? Like, is it having your friends and family like on board with this and in line, so they ain't not disrespecting and they're not acting funny or weird? Like, I don't know. I just think there are pieces to the puzzle here for this shit to happen out in a way, in a way that is, you know, that doesn't hurt the woman. But, you know, this is Jennifer. Jennifer says, so you think it's okay to just go around telling your girlfriend's tea? What I am is no one's business unless we're dating. I'm the only one who can decide to tell my tea. And we are specifically talking about relationships and dating. So yeah, I think we're kind of in line here. But, you know, again, we are guys that are open about who we are and what we like and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, people are going to make that assumption that stealth life with us, at least with our friends and family, is never going to be a thing for you if you're dating an openly trans attracted man.
Exactly.
Friends and family know. So if you want that life, you might have to find somebody who just isn't there or hasn't done it or who won't do it. But it's a wide audience. There's plenty of people around, different kinds of folks, you know, and that is definitely not a shade moment. Mike.
Yeah, but it's not so much about telling her tea. It's more or less like, you know, about the man disclosing his attraction before he enters.
Telling our tea. We are telling our tea. We're not telling their tea. We're telling our tea, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I said it. We're telling our tea. We're
Exactly.
not
So
telling your chi. We're telling our chi. We're trying to let our family and friends know that we are attracted to y'all.
Yeah.
exactly. So
So
for
that way
example,
it's no issues. So that
Mm-hmm.
way
yeah,
it's no issues, no negativity.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
So
So
by
for example,
dating us,
Oh.
so by dating us, hold on, let me finish, Mike.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
by dating us, there's no hiding your chi. They are gonna know.
yeah,
We're not
basically,
trying to broadcast it. We're just trying to let everybody know that it's okay.
Yeah. It's
Shit.
yeah,
okay. There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah. So basically, by the time I bring her home to my family or to my friends or whatever, it's like it's not that I told her T. It's just that they already know who I'm dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there's no discrimination, no nothing like that.
Yeah. And I think this is a part of like really our journey as men because for so long we have lived secret double lives, so to speak. Like we have lived portraying, this one thing that society wants us to be, all the while, being in this space where we are attracted to women in this community. And a lot of times opening up can really be therapeutic and liberating for us, and allowing us to proceed in a way and start the growth that we need to, be the kinds of mates that, women want or need, the understanding guys and all that stuff. So, there is a whole other thing about that. And, sorry, Jasmine is commenting again. She says, I'm too passable to live out loud. And, stealth life, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But, I think
I
at the
said
end of the
that too.
day, it's part of, like Roy said, part of it is kind of for us too, because we do have our tea and we have been hiding and fearing judgment and all that stuff. And really, I think when guys move to this space where they don't fear the judgment, where they're confident in themselves and all that stuff, I think that's the tea. I think a lot of times, really, that's the kind of shit that prevents murders, real talk. Like having that confidence and having that comfortability with yourself and being in a space where it doesn't matter who knows and you're not worried and look peeping around the corner, your masculinity isn't on the line as soon as somebody knows that your girlfriend is this, whatever else, like trying to keep that secret, whatever else. I think that, that kind of doing away with all that stuff and really just having confident men who are completely comfortable with themselves is a huge it'll bring us closer to minimizing murders. I think that is a big piece of it on some platform, but that's not all the murders. Obviously the murders there are some other murders with different people, different circumstances, but there have been the murders where the guy's like, oh yeah, she tricked me. Oh yeah, it is, because he was afraid to be open. He was afraid that how people would view him if the secret got out, and like that is real. It is real. So, but I want to move on to some more comments. Shantae, what's going on, Shantae from Texas? Shout out Texas. Tell everyone it don't bother me as long as they respect me as the woman I am. Dope.
Thank you.
I agree with Miss Shante. Strongly.
Um, oh shoot! Wow, I'm really behind on these comments. I'm like 16 minutes behind on these. Sorry, I'm trying to get to this so y'all can really be heard.
Put them up, yo.
So Neff Allure says, we live in a cis hetero society and everyday cis hetero BS is forced on us. People will never understand us if we keep quiet about our truths. It plays into narratives of shame, which further fuels the hatred towards Black trans women. The world wants to erase us. Men's silence is causing our lives. I would completely agree with that, and I think that's a really fair point.
Oh,
But again, on the flip side of this, for Jasmine, our discretion keeps us safe, and definitely don't want to invalidate that side of it as well. We, especially the guys on this panel, we all definitely do understand that women in this community are taking a risk every day. They're in danger all the time. From the moment they step out their door to the moment they get home, they are, in danger. Like, who knows? This society is really fucked up. They don't value the lives of women in this community, and we are completely cognizant of that. But that's definitely a huge thing. So that is not lost on us at all here. And I think there's space for both realities to be true. And it is not, this is the narrative and this is not the narrative. So, but moving on to Zay. Zay says, first, it's about us, he and I. After that, people's opinions will come, but I want him to be proud without the shirt, LOL. If someone speaks, if someone asks, he answers accordingly. All right, y'all. Damn.
Yeah, they struggle against the
But I know.
Let me say something, Chris. Let me say something.
Wait, hold on. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me explain this shirt. The reason why I did this shirt is because I'm trying to encourage dudes to not be ashamed, to not be afraid, to own their attraction. That's why I wore the shirt. That's why I had the shirt made. That's it.
And it's I believe it's a laudable goal and a worthy intention. I mean, that's really what we're doing, is trying to encourage more guys to step into the light and own who they are and what they like and what kind of women they like and what kind of life they want to live. Because, women, I've even heard from women as recently as today, they're like, yeah, well, he wasn't really where he needed to be, so I had to let him go because he was still wrestling with certain ideas, and it was just like I couldn't wait around for him to get it. And it really, we need to jumpstart the journey of a lot of men out there, because women in this community are beautiful as fuck. There are some very beautiful women in this community, and really the beginning of it is for a man to just say, hey, damn, she's fine, and I'm okay with that, and I don't feel weird or gay for that. Like, that's really, like, accepting their attraction as just their attractiveness and accepting their womanhood as valid is really the first step. And seeing other men do that, that's just how we are as men. We take cues from other men, and if there's that man out there like Roy with that T-shirt saying, "Hey, man, it's okay," that goes a long way to encourage somebody else to step out into the light. And that's just how it works. But that's his advocacy, and I think it works. I definitely fucks with it, because I mean, that's how I first saw him, was when he was being really out loud and proud, and I'm like, oh damn, this brother's out here doing this motherfucking thing. I'm sorry, Portia, back again. I think just as hard telling your family you're dating a guy that likes penis. Okay.
No, I get what she's saying.
Yeah. I mean, really, that I would say that shouldn't be an issue if your family already respects you as a woman. They don't look at him as weird for liking you. So like, that really shouldn't even be a thing, unless your family doesn't really accept you for that, or then that's, some other stuff that's got to be worked on. But
yeah, you got some families that don't.
You're right. There are some families that don't.
They probably do respect them and look at them as a woman, but them having a boyfriend,
yeah,
look at it. Yeah. Oh wow, how? So
yeah, because they haven't really taken that trip to where it needed to go, saying, oh yeah, she's a woman, and women date men, so that's totally gonna happen. And I'm not gonna lie, I've heard of brothers, ended up having to overhand slap the fuck out of some family members of their girl for disrespecting. Like, I've heard niggas that they had to get into it with their girl's family because they was talking all wild out the side of their mouth and shit. It's happened. It's totally happened. Not everything is guaranteed to be peaceful. Nothing. It's not a life without incident. That's how we'll phrase that. Okay, hold on a second. Jasmine, if you're gonna live out loud, you better know how to fight.
Facts.
I would say less knowing how to fight and be willing to fight. I think, men, you have to be willing to be a protector of sorts and really, and really show up for these women in a way that makes them feel safe. I mean, that is really doing the mental work, is getting your mind there where you're like, look, I know she's under siege from everywhere, and I'm going to be a force that helps her feel more secure in that. Because you can't change the world, but you can change how she exists in it just a little bit.
Me, I have no problem. That's why I don't dress all fly and nice. I dress so regular. because I'll be ready to throw down.
Oh, I dress nice. Like I wear t-shirts on this shit, but I'm, I go to Jose Bank to get my shit. Like I be in the full suits. So that's my thing. But
I got a few shirts that just, I don't wear it every day.
This is how it's just in my apartment building because I'm just down there.
Actually, yo, just for the record though, you could get that Jose Bank over at Goodwill too, so don't be fronting.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Could get it at the Goodwill or K&G. K&G got some stuff out there.
K&G.
I ain't gonna lie, when I want to dress loud, when I want to be loud and be on some hood shit, I'll go to K&G and get me a loud ass sports jacket. I usually get that shit before I go to Vegas. I end up just dressing all like crazy out there.
Yo, we got to bring back the Averex, yo. That shit was the bomb back in the
day. Yeah, them Averexes was fly, man.
Oh, man.
All right, we're going to get back into the comments. Here's Sabrina. Sorry we are so behind on these comments, y'all. We are like almost 20 minutes behind on these, but we're going to get through these and give everybody a voice here. It is really up to a man himself to be open about his preference, but understand that typical trans women have already put up with the ignorance and will not deal with a man that keeps us hidden. Men out there, please take heed to this message. Women of standard, the which is all the women in this community. These women will not put up with your bullshit and your fear. And like, if you aren't ready for this, then don't jump into it. Just chill out. Just chill out, learn, have conversation with guys, do whatever else. But if you're not ready, if you're not ready for everybody in your life to know, do not jump into relationships with women in this community, and just continue to learn, get your confidence up, figure out how that conversation is going to go, learn more about yourself and your attraction. What do you like in this community? What don't you like? Like, just because you're attracted to trans women doesn't mean you like everything that all the women have to offer. Like, some niggas, these different positions, there's lots of things to learn. So I'm just throwing shit out there, but there's a lot of information out there that guys need to absorb still. And, there's nothing wrong with taking time and just taking it in. Really, getting a look at the landscape. And Neff is agreeing with Roy. Exactly, Roy. Own your truth. DL men just want to save face for pussy. Fair enough. I think what they're really saving face for is cis women pussy. I think that a lot of guys will be DL on their shit so that they don't get judged by cis women, because a lot of times when men enter this space and they're open, cis women will judge him as, I'm sorry, my words are escaping me, y'all. But pretty much he's an undesirable. Like he's out of the dating pool now. Like, he fucked with them? Oh, well, I don't really see them as women anyway. So that nigga is gay, and no, I'm not doing that shit.
But the funny thing about not just to speak on that right quick, I never had that problem. They look at me and go, "Wow, and you're open about it?" I said, "Yeah. Well, why wouldn't I be?" And they were like, "Oh, okay." And to be honest, the interest level will be still there. Now, I don't know what they say about me and behind closed doors. Of course, everybody gonna have something to say behind closed doors. But towards me, it'd be totally different. I still get hit. I still get text messages. I still get phone calls. I still get the inboxes. They know what I'm about, but they.
And you know what? That behind closed doors thing. Oh, actually, I'm gonna let Mike have it real quick before I take this conversation and go somewhere else with it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, if a cis woman does do that and says like, okay, you out the dating pool now, then in my mind, I'm just like, you wasn't in my dating pool anyway, because even if I did date you and I found out about your bigotry and discrimination like that, you'd be out the fucking door anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't want to fuck with you like that anyway.
Definitely. I do. Yeah. It's a lot of that discrimination and judge, like all that shit is just really ugly to us, man. We don't like it at all. And I'm not gonna lie, I found it ugly when I've seen girls I'm with are shading women who are earlier in their transition and they just haven't had the surgeries, whatever else. I'm like, dude, like that woman's going through enough without you throwing negative energy her way. Like, why would you be shady? You should be sympathetic of anybody, like I see that as ugly, and I'm just like, it really will drive me away, and I'm not talking to that person no more, obviously. But King, not King. Wow, Trail. The thing is, what you said about behind closed doors. For me, with my family and how they are dealing with things and they're reconciling things with their religion and their faith and whatever the fuck else. It's really like deal with it however you need to deal with it behind closed doors. But when I show up, it better be nothing but respect and love. And if I bring somebody around, it better be nothing but respect and love. Now, behind closed doors, if you're like, why would my nephew do this? Why would my cousin? Why would my brother? You go through whatever you got to go through behind the scenes. Do you? But in person, I'm not here for that bullshit. And I don't want to hear shit about your fucking faith, religion, or I want to hear shit about how you don't agree. None of that shit. So, that's really where I draw the line on that shit. But damn, the comments are rolling in. All right, so next up is Amaya Cole. So I've been trans for 5 years now. So in my opinion, the guy should disclose who he is with when he takes us out to meet the family for the first time, but he don't have to say that I'm trans though. Okay. And look, people handle their families differently. But I would say how I handle my family is how I handle my family. And I am definitely not, this is more about me at this point. And I'm like, yo, fam, this is what's up. This is who I am. Accept me for who I am and who I love, X, Y, and Z. And it's really like, it really is something with the family members that are like, yo, hey man, ain't nothing but love anyways. Like, it don't matter. I fucks with you. And there are some people that got to work through it. But, I have been definitely surprised by some of my family members that are just like, look, my love for you as my blood comes first. And, there are some parents out there that say, I don't want to lose a child over this shit. So, yes, I'm cool with it. All I care about is your happiness. So, but, again, a lot of these guys, it's not a lot of these guys, but a lot of us guys, our families already know. And they know what kind of women we're dating and all that stuff. Now, they're not running around town and saying, everybody, she's like, it ain't like when we show up to the Target, that's what it is. Or when we show up to the cookout, that's what it is. But, if people got questions, they want to come and talk to me, then cool. I'll answer questions, but I'm not running around telling every cousin, second cousin, uncle, my family's too big and I'm not doing that shit. But thank you, Jasmine. Love the appreciation. Again, ladies out here, we do appreciate when y'all appreciate us. We are really trying to be an example and drive the conversation in the right direction and really trying to give men confidence and just help them, with themselves so that we can all move in a better direction as a community. And as a community of men and women, because I really do think men are a part of the solution for a better tomorrow. I think we are all a part of the solution for a better tomorrow for, this community and how we, interact with each other. Wow, I just lost my place in these fucking comments. Oh Lord. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my place again. Okay, wow, I lost my place, guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna miss some folks' comments here.
There's a lot of them in there, bro.
Yeah. And Nuevez says you do not need to out your trans partner to your family. Just stand up for the fact that trans women are women, period. You do not need to date women to then decide you have to now let family know. I think a lot of us are in agreement with at least the second part of it. Or even the first part of it. Like, I don't need to tell everybody who and what my partner is. Like, I don't give a fuck, really. But, for me specifically, and this is about me specifically for my thing, it is being open and honest and being accepted for who I am by my family is kind of important to me. And with a lot of cis guys out there, it's kind of important to them too. I mean, we're all coming from the outside of community in, and there are just a lot of things we haven't considered. And, after a life of being in this cis hetero privileged world, certain things are important to us. And I don't know. It's just, I just think there's a little bit to consider in terms of like spending 30 years or 25 years in this one life and then trying to shift over. Family support can make a world of difference. not just for us, but for the women that we date as well. A relationship with a daughter-in-law and her mother-in-law is definitely important, in the grand scheme of things. How a woman, and for men in general, how a woman relates to your family, how well she gets along with your mother is a big piece of the puzzle. And, if I want my mom to get along with you, why would I don't want there to be any secrets or anything hidden, but that's just me and how I roll. I'm not saying that's how everybody should roll, and people shouldn't be keeping secrets from their parents or whatever else. That's how you deal with your family, however you want to. But I know for me, I am just, I need to be completely honest with my family because, our relationship is that tight. But, fellas, any thoughts on that? Gentlemen, anybody? Mike?
I mean, I agree with most of it, but like I said, it just goes back to the original topic of like, if I tell my family, it's not for your tea, it's for mine. And that's the thing. If I tell my family, it's going to be before I'm even with you anyway. So,
Right, that's how I feel. Like my family already knows the deal is with me. So anything I'll be around, you can question all you want, but she's here for me.
For sure. And I mean, I think we're pretty clear that that we would agree that this is best done before you bring somebody else into the equation, and dating somebody should not be the catalyst for this. But I'm not going to judge somebody who that is the catalyst for them right now because they're not at a place where they would rather do it without a relationship being present. But we definitely are in line with, like this just needs to be more of an expression of who you are and how you proceed in life, and less about like this specific relationship. I need this relationship to validate all this other stuff. Sorry, I'm rolling down this. Michaela says Roy needs to put that shirt out on the market, man. I think there might be demand for shirt, man.
T Public.
Get on T Public and make a shirt design, bro. I'll buy one. I will buy a, whatever it is, trans attracting and proud, whatever kind of shirt you put together, bro. I'll get one. I'll support.
I'll think about something.
So I'm sorry, I'm rolling down these comments. Yumi, I think it's Yumi. What's going on? And appreciate the support of the podcast, Yumi. I had a decent conversation with her a while ago about it. She says, you do not need to out your trans partner to your family. Just stand up for the fact that trans women are women, period. I think this might be, okay. I think she might have posted twice, or I don't know. You do not need to date a trans woman to then decide you have to let family know about your desires for trans women. Yeah, correct. So we are definitely agreed on that point. You don't need to wait until you're in a relationship. Zay says most people most people haven't done the knowledge seeking to understand who trans people are. Yes, that is correct, Zay. And we had a little thing about like, are men going to actually hop on the internet and read and do research? And I said, probably not. They will probably tune into shit like this or tune into, Zay has her own product out there, Kate Black, Hope Giselle, Box Number 512 podcast. There are lots of different pieces of media out there for people to consume. I think they would probably go that route more than just, trying to read internet websites and stuff. But, yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, well, this is interesting. Samantha Smith says, my mother will not accept me bringing home a man who likes penis. I would never hear the end of that. Whew. Okay. I don't really, I guess. Yeah, this is crazy. So, yeah. This is, look, that would really suck. And hopefully your mom could work past that. But, if that's what you have, then she won't accept a man liking you. So, like, hopefully she can get some work done or do some work individually to get herself to a place where she's okay with that. And a relationship might be a catalyst for that because it might take you bringing somebody home that she absolutely falls in love with and wants to, you know, be happy to having her family and all that stuff. A lot of times it takes that, you know, the personality of people kind of win over some folks sometimes. And I want to make sure I hit all my, disclosure recommended. Yeah. So, fellas, really quickly, you know, because we've all done our own little disclosure here. And I kind of want us to go around the horn and really, because I think everybody has a unique journey, and I want to know, like, who did you tell first? Like, who did you really open up to first? Was it your friends? Was it your friends or your family? And I'm gonna start with Mike.
Actually, both a friend and a cousin.
Hmm.
So, like, a female friend, I spoke to first about it, and then my male cousin, I came out to him also because, like, I think I've told this before, but we were playing pool, and during the game of pool, we were on some kind of political topics, and then all of a sudden he started making some like homophobic and transphobic remarks about the different topics that we were speaking about. And at one point I just kind of had enough, and I was like, yo, dog, like, I'm attracted to trans women. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I kind of shut him down. But then other than that, like I said, like, you know, I had a friend that was really open-minded about stuff. So I kind of felt comfortable just coming out and saying, like, look, you know, this is what my attractions are.
Trail?
My family first. I told them, you know, it wasn't nothing because, you know, my mother raised me to love everyone and respect everyone, you know, regardless of what their gender, what their sexual preferences and stuff like that. So yeah. Then my friends. You know, my day one, my inner circle, they're all still intact. They all still hit me up, and I still rock with them. Hard body.
Mm-hmm.
We had dudes that didn't. You know what I mean, I was rocking with cool, like especially when I was in the streets. A lot of them like just stopped fucking with me, but I didn't really care because I'm not even in that life no more, so I don't care. But yeah.
Roy, friends or family? Which one did you tell first?
I told my family first, had that conversation with them, and then I told my like five best friends that I grew up with. I told them, and we just sat down. We just had that conversation, and I explained to them what my attraction was, how it is, and they're not around, but it's cool. My family's still there, so that's all that matters to me. So I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's dope. Yeah, family's important to a lot of men out here. Really, family is a key part of the relationship experience to a lot of people. Obviously, there are people out there where it's not important at all, but to a lot of men out here, a lot of cis men coming into this community, it is. And for me, I told my sisters first. I talked to my sisters, then I talked to my mom, and you know, I needed to secure my family unit first, and then I had a conversation with my day ones. But you know, none of my day ones didn't really give a fuck about it that much because you know I'm still the same nigga at the end of the day. So you know that's really a telling thing. You know, if somebody really do or don't fuck with you, like it's you'll see how they act. Real talk. But let's see here. I'm sorry, back to these comments. And this is Zay, this is really what gets to the heart of this, you know, conversation of, you know, guys waiting to disclose to their mom, dad, whoever else, because and I'm just speaking in from my viewpoint of the Black community. You know, a lot of people view, you know, women in the trans community as, you know, cross dressers, men. And at the end of the day, they still a man, and like they have that aggression. So they gotta like antagonize, like, yeah, those are just men anyways. And like they always throw that shit in there. And it's just like, you know, I think us really coming out and then them knowing that we are interested in women only, and then, you know, exposing them to women in the trans community also kind of helps move society along a little bit more, because I think the more exposure society gets and the more trans people start to come into the lives of folks that aren't normally in these sectors, the more that they can humanize as well. So, I mean, that's a, you know, tertiary benefit that isn't, you know, the real main cause here, but, you know, that is something that good that comes out of this a lot of times as well. Even if we're not dating anybody, they know we date women in this sector, and people ask questions. They start to learn a little bit, and they start to not antagonize, and they start to humanize because they're like, well, I know this dude, and he's like fucking dope, so they can't, like, all these people over here, like they must not be that bad. Like, it just, I know it's weird, but there are just some like folks that really have a long way to come on understanding not just the LGBT community, but just the trans community and specifically. I want to drop Angelo back in here. Oh, actually, hold on now. We got a question from Zay, so I want to. All right, Zay says, if you date both cis women and trans women, do you disclose to cis women if it were to come up? I'm going to start with Roy on this one.
Me, I would. I have no problem. If she asks, then she's curious. So I would just tell her. No issues.
Okay, Brother Trump.
Yes, I explained that already. I said that. They even look at me and be like, "Oh, you're open about it." I'm like, "Ain't I supposed to be?" Like,
right?
Like, would you even talk to me if I was like a DL about it? Nah, you wouldn't do that. But so yeah, of course.
Mike, has it come up?
Absolutely. And like I said, if they discriminate, then there's the fucking door.
Exactly.
There you go. I actually put that on my, like, it's never, I would disclose, but that's just to make sure that I don't have any other bullshit cropping up later because, let's be real. We like women, and there may be a cis woman out there that would be the one for me, and or I think is the one for me, but then she's really highly judgmental and discriminatory in this way. Obviously that's a bomb. That's a ticking time bomb. So I think being completely open.
Listen though.
Yeah.
That goes back to my saying: if you know me, then you already know.
Know what it is.
There's nothing for me to disclose. There's nothing for me to disclose.
In fact, I disclose on my dating profiles. Honestly, I have a Tinder profile and a Facebook dating profile, and I put that front and center so it washes out anybody who's like, oh no, I don't do that. Like, okay, bye. Next. But there are men there. To Zay's question is valid because I personally know guys who don't disclose that when they're dating cis women, because they don't want to be taken out of the dating pool for all cis women. They don't want word to get around in a way that will damage them or make them damaged goods where nobody will deal with them. And, that's some bullshit, from that side of it, from the cis woman side of it. But, there just are guys in this space that do date trans women and cis women, and they go back and forth. And it's not like I'm locked into just this one thing, because I like all these women. And they definitely should be free to navigate the world in that way. But hatred and bullshit and low self-esteem kind of keeps them from doing that sometimes. So at least that's my view of it. Oh, Angelo got answered too. Zay Fisher, if it came up, yeah, I basically tell everyone I'm pansexual. They don't need specifics. Dope.
Oh, he's pan. Okay.
Yeah. So, what did Neff say? Anywho, Kendi was agreeing with Neff or something, but Angelo said, I've never had a problem with cisgender women in regards to my attractions, and I'm sorry, in regards to what my attractions are, to find the honesty to be refreshing. I'm sorry. I've never had a problem with, I don't know why I'm just reading all fucked up. This coffee's got me everywhere.
They find the honesty to be refreshing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much the women find the honesty to be refreshing, which is just like, right. Are used to niggas proceeding in a DL way, really. That's what they expect a lot of times. And, says, do they even know what pansexuality is? Probably not.
Yeah, when it comes to pansexuality and non-binary, I have to.
Oh shit! What did she?
Have some education with that.
And Jasmine asked this question. I'm sorry, Jasmine. I meant to get you in on this one. She says, "Do you men who are verse or bottom feel some kind of way when the women bottom shame y'all, or do y'all pay it no mind? Are there any? Does anybody want to
pay
disclose
no mind.
bottom? Okay, pay
I
no mind.
pay no mind. It don't bother me. Nobody's opinion bothers me. I'm solid in myself. I'm secure in myself. I'm strong.
For sure. I can say that it did bother me when I first moved into this space. Judgment from women in terms of the kind of men that some women think men need to be, which is, you know, the hardcore hypermasculine top, you know, that likes trans women but don't really, you know, but you know, whatever. So yeah, the bottom, like I was really like, oh yeah, I date trans and cis women because I didn't want to be viewed as, you know, that gay chaser nigga. And then, you know, I broke free from that judgment, but then I moved into, I have to make sure that everybody knows that I'm a top because I need to seem like that man's man, and I can't have my masculinity devalued in this community like it's already being devalued in outside society. Now, full disclosure, I am not a bottom at all. I'm not verse or anything, but it was upon me to make sure that people knew that I was the top. And I even inherited the bullshit and the judgment from some of the women in the community when some of my brothers would say, hey, yeah, I bottom. And I'm looking at them like, what kind of strange ass, you know, weird ass niggas you. You know, I was putting that judgment on them. I was taking the judgment that I was seeing and putting it on them as well. And that was some shit. And, you know, men out there, if you're watching this, you know, definitely don't do that. Do not inherit. We do not need to be judging each other. We get enough judgment from the outside world. We get enough judgment from some women in the community. Then I said some women in the community. There are lots of women that rock with us super hardcore, and I appreciate that shit. But, you know, we really got to do a better job at supporting each other and not trying to make sure that we're feeling this like monolithic, like here's what a man is, this manly man. And it's like we need to be free to express ourselves and be who we are, man.
You know, me personally, I don't do that at all. I'm not bottom. I'm not verse at all. But then again, I do not judge the men that are. That is their business. And I tell people all the time, what a person does in their bedroom, that is their business. Mind your business. I don't understand, especially another grown man worried about what another grown man do. I do not like that. I'm strongly against that. Why do grown men worry about what other grown men do? Stop. Mind your business, dude. For real.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Jasmine, behind closed doors.
Right, Jasmine. I mean, it's no judgment to nobody else. It's just I haven't bottomed. So.
Oh, and this is the thing. It's been from Jasmine. It's been my experience that most DL men are bottoms, and that's why I don't fuck with them. Interesting.
I'm gonna be honest with her. She's actually true.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the guys that know that bottom. I'm like, they're not exactly. Okay, yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm verse, so I'm not a full bottom. I'm verse.
I would say.
Oh, not DL.
Yeah. See, there you go.
That has nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? So
I've heard stories though.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stories about that. I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, okay. That's some whole other shit. Okay.
While I am not a bottom, I will clarify and say on a public platform that with me, I care about what my partner needs. So if I have a partner that says, hey, this is how I get fulfillment, I am going to give her whatever she needs to get whatever sexual fulfillment that she needs on that point. Now, I'm not saying I'm trying to bust it open and try it out every week or something like that, but I mean, I can try it out on your birthday, on Valentine. I can do it once in a while, like just give it a shot. Never tried it before. I don't know the first thing about any of that shit, but if I was with somebody that wanted that, I think that's part of being a good partner is really being amenable to whatever they need to, be fulfilled in that way. So like, while I am not specifically a bottom or a verse or whatever else, and I've never tried it, I wouldn't be opposed to it if I had somebody that I felt like I loved and they said, yo, I want to do this, or I want to try this out. Okay, sure.
Well, love will make you do some stuff.
Yeah. Yes, it will. It will. That's for damn sure. Jasmine. Mike Brooklyn can get it.
Oh, shit.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. Yeah.
Okay.
Holla at me.
Oh, wait, but on the flip side, wait, hold on a second. Are there any of you that only date trans women? The answer is yes, because that is me. I believe that is Roy and Mike. I don't know where you're at with that, but there's a lot
I
of guys that
date
yes.
I date trans and cis women, but as of right now, I'm kind of taking a break from cis women.
For sure. And look, a lot of guys in this space do. Some guys do date whoever they want to, but a lot of guys do date just trans women in this community. And you know, we're here for the shits, and we're here for all the shits that come with it. And you know, this is what we like. I can't help what I like. I can't help what I'm attracted to. It's just me. And you know, I know that I'm at my happiest, my ultimate happiest. Like I am at my happiest if I were to date somebody, if I were to date a trans woman over a cis woman. Because what'll happen is I'll be with a cis woman, and that's cool. We'll make it work in the short term, but eventually, I'm going to want to like I never want to be in a situation where I'm looking at somebody else's grass like it's greener. I'll want to be completely fulfilled and not want to look anywhere else other than where I'm at. So, you know, if I am with a cis woman, I know that I will be looking, and my head is going to be that meme. My head is going to be fucking turning. I'm the guy. I got a cis woman on my arm, and she's looking at me because I just turned my head for that, you know, that bomb ass trans woman that I just peeped coming down the street. So, like, why even set myself up for that shit?
Exactly.
Why, I mean, really,
why? Me personally, I'm saying I date both, but I will be quicker to get in a relationship with a trans woman before I would do it with a cis woman. Because, you know, me personally, I dated cis women all my life. You know, all my life. I didn't date a lot of trans women. You know what I'm saying? I didn't date a lot of trans women. So, yeah. As of right now, I'm quicker to get a relationship with the trans woman before I do it with a cisgender woman.
And I really want to say this quick to all the women watching, because I think some people kind of jump to a conclusion about the guys that are on the show. A lot of us, well, yes, we've had a lot of experience with cis women in our lives. We've also had quite a bit of experience with women in community. All of us on here, we all have friends, platonic friends in community, women that we vibe with, women that we see as our sisters, women that we look to protect, trying to fuck. These are just our friends. These are our sisters. These are our comrades in arms. We are with the community on this shit. But, you know, like, we are not just some niggas walking in off the street and we have no connections to community. We've never dated any women. That is not the case. And, you know, I think sometimes women look at us and be like, well, them niggas don't know shit. Like, they just brand new in this shit. It's like, but we're not. And we're really largely speaking, a lot of times we're sharing our opinions and views for the benefit of the men who are just stepping into this space, because guys who are just stepping into the space, there are lots of things that they need to consider that they just haven't. You know, when I first stepped in this space, I came in and said, yeah. So, I mean, I don't need to be taught anything because I already know how to treat a woman. I'm already a gentleman. So I'm just going to proceed and consider everything that I was already considering in cisland. And that was definitely not the move. Definitely not the move. But I'm sorry, I'm getting to the comments. Okay. Yumi. Oh, hold on a second. Ava, I do not only see Jasmine's comments. Do not only see Jasmine's comments. You know, I see everybody. I see most of the people's comments in here. But, you know, shout out to Sabrina, Jazz, all the Jasmines, Monica, Shantae, Kendi, Tony, Ava, Sabrina, Brother Martell.
Martell, what up?
Yeah, that's the homie, Brother Mike Biggs. Shout out to everybody. Michaela, thanks for showing up. Yumi, thanks for showing up. And I want to read this because Yumi really has some fire shit to say a lot of times. So, you know, She said, "Stop talking about trans or cis women preference as if one is better than another. For all you cis men, abolishing the patriarchy is what's sexy in a cis man, regardless of what kind of woman you're attracted to." Definitely dope. And I would say the first part of that, I think a big part of carrying forward discussions about preference in a way that's healthy for everybody is definitely doing it in a way where we don't say one is better than the other. Because we should not be throwing shade. It shouldn't be a shade-a-thon of like, yeah, I like these, I like this, and then those other people are like, no, they're worse. Like everybody is equally valid in this space, and everybody has their preference, and there's somebody for everybody. And I definitely think we need to have all of our conversations in that mindset for sure. So I
basically
agree with that.
So basically, the library's closed.
What do you mean?
So no reading, library's closed.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, no reading, no reading at all. And yes, I think when the whole cis woman conversation kind of just came up, just in terms of like what we prefer specifically. But real talk, there's more than enough people out there showing love to cis women, and I'm okay with not being one of them. But I only get down on cis women sometimes when it comes to how they react to men who like women in the trans community, because sometimes it can be problematic, and sometimes what they do and what they say can really spark off some bullshit. Like really, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Hollywood Boulevard attack. The Hollywood Boulevard attack. If you look at the beginning of the video, it was some woman yelling out, "Hey, boo, that's a man. That's a man." Like it was a cis woman yelling that shit out, trying to pull that man's card, trying to pull his card and check his masculinity. And obviously he reacted in a way that was he definitely reacted in a different way. And yes, everybody, we do know what reading is. We do know we have friends in community. We do know what reading is. I am not a reader. I'm not the best person to do all that shit.
God damn,
it's just not me. But I'm not out here gonna read people for filth and all that shit. It's
don't
cool.
Speak the lingo, but I do understand the lingo. I do not speak the lingo. That ain't my
right.
thing.
Yeah, we are aware of the shit. Okay, like goddamn. So let's not make a big deal out of that. We are humans with brains and we can learn. So. Yeah, we got through a glitch in the matrix. That's for sure. But oh shit, see, people are just being dumb now. Not people just, this comment. Y'all are all crazy up in here. But yeah, so anywho, I want to make sure we didn't miss anything on this conversation. I had some bullet points here we needed to hit, but I think we're mostly through with all this. Again, guys who are listening to this, and yeah, see, Angelo. Yes, we know the lingo. You spend half a day in Clubhouse and you done got all the lingo you really need to know. But anyways, whatever. I believe, a lot of us guys in this space, we do count ourselves as some part of the community in some capacity. I'm not saying we are the major space takers, but at some point we're in the fight with you. We're out here fighting to change hearts and minds and get people to understand that women in this community are women and they should be respected like all cis women. Like, yeah, Clubhouse, it can be draining sometimes, Amira. So, but yeah, we are doing our thing out here. And we're definitely trying, but men listening, disclosure is definitely a part of this experience. It's a part of this journey. You really, it's a milestone that you have to reach in order for you to really make a good attempt at this and partner with somebody from this community in the right way. You have to be okay with people knowing, especially the people close to you. I'm not saying you have to tell everybody, but you have to, at the very least, get yourself to a place where it doesn't matter who knows. It doesn't matter who knows. You have to be confident in yourself. So, guys listening to this, please hit me up if you want to talk through this. I am here. I talk to guys all the time. We have our men's only group, the Men Like Us Tribe. The Men Like Us Tribe is a men's only group. It's a men's only space. We do support each other in there. We do have conversation. This entire conversation that we had here today was had earlier today in the group, and we share ideas respectfully. We are not beefing, and we don't get catty. And, we definitely come together, and we're supportive, especially of brothers who are really just trying to find themselves, learn terms, all that stuff. So it's the Men Like Us Tribe Facebook group, Men Like Us Tribe. Find it on Facebook.
Men
But
only.
yes, men's only. Sorry, ladies. It's our space that we created ourselves for.
It's not a he-man woman hating club, all right?
No, yeah, it is not a woman hating club. It is not a porn club. We do not allow nude pictures or any of that kind of stuff in there. We don't talk about women's bodies. We, it is really just talking about us and our experience. We have lots of guys in there who are married. So Jasmine, not trades only. We have men who are in relationships, married for, over a decade with women. Like, we have a lot of support in there from guys who have been around this community and who has, who have experienced that and have wisdom that they can impart on other younger guys. So it's been dope. Things are heading in the right direction. It is a slow process, y'all. I'm sorry that this is not a massive movement. And trans men are definitely accepted in here. That is already done. We do have trans men in our space as well. I see trans men as our brothers. Trans men are men, and if these trans men are attracted to women in the trans community, then that's the place for them, and they can share their point of view as well. So this is not exclusionary cis only land. That is not what the fuck we're doing here. So, we do not reject requests from any trans men that want to join. I would just say, however we do it, and again, I'm gonna just go back to Yumi. Cis men learning from trans men is everything. This is all about all of us learning from each other and helping each other grow. So it is not a cis men, you need to sit down and learn this, and this. The basis for this group is mutual respect. And but the trans men that are in the group, definitely do share with us on that level, and they do share their truths, and it's really dope. And it definitely isn't like I'm the trans person, you're not, you need to learn, it isn't any of that stuff. And we definitely know pretty well. So guys, listen to this, please join the group. Everybody listening to this, please like the Facebook page, subscribe on YouTube, please subscribe to the podcast on the audio platform. Give me a 5-star rating. We need to get the ratings up. And ladies, we need your help. Please share these episodes. Share this on your page. We need your help to reach the guys that need to hear these statements. We definitely need your help. We can't reach all the men who need to hear this stuff. If there are men in your life and you're like, you're not quite where you need to be, and you need some conversation with some guys who are already in this space, send them to the show, have them watch some of the streams, send them to the group, whatever. There are men out there who need help, and I can't reach them all. I wish I could. I have spent some serious money in marketing trying to do that. I paid for ads and all that stuff. And thanks to everybody for supporting. I'm sorry, Tro, you got something real quick?
No, I just wanted to say, my homegirl, Miss Amira, she said, Roy, speak. She's trying to see something. So, Roy.
And we are not giving Garrett life up in here right now. We are giving Yumi life, because that's the homie. No, I'm just playing. I'm not picking nobody over nobody else, but yeah. But yes, Jasmine, thank you. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you, Zay, for asking those questions. Whenever y'all are watching these streams, by all means, drop a question in here. We will add, and we will add all of that stuff. So, I'm sorry, not add, but we will answer your questions, even if it's not directly on the topic. We will make that happen. So, I guess without all that, brother Mike Brooklyn, tell them where they can find your podcast, bro.
They can find me on the Real Talk podcast. It's on most of the popular streaming platforms like Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, whatever. Throw me a 5-star if you want to. No 4-star guys or girls out there. Had to steal that from the homie.
Oh yeah, yes. 5-star ratings only. Do not be a 4-star person. If you give us 4 stars, you will be interpreted as a hater.
Exactly. And you can find me at Mike Brooklyn on Twitter. So Jasmine, if you want to, holla at me.
There you go. There you go. Brother Roy, where can they find you, man?
They can catch me on Facebook, Roy Plump, and the gram, Royal Smokes One.
All right. Ava, thank you for sharing this. Appreciate it. Somebody else shared it. Sabrina, thank you for sharing. And Mishka, thank you for subscribing to both. Appreciate it. Brother Trail, where can they find you, man?
They can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. King Clee Trail. I'm King Clee Trail.
All right. Dope. Hey, and we're going to be doing more of these conversations, obviously. But we're branching out. This channel, while it is, largely geared towards men who are coming into their attraction, looking for information, looking to learn, looking for great conversation. My whole life isn't just trans stuff. So, yesterday I did a stream about talking about X-Men and The Walking Dead with some women from Community. So, if there are any nerds out there, any fellow nerds and any trans women out there, if you're a nerd, hit me up because I would love to add you to the panel because we're going to nerd talk because
any woman nerd, hit me up, please.
Yeah, we're going to do this. And, I love showcasing women from the community so that they can just show a different side. Like, I just think I love showing women in a 3-dimensional sense in terms of their interests and stuff that have nothing to do with their attraction, So, and I love that kind of shit. So if you are a nerd, you love sci-fi, comic book stuff, video games, whatever, if any are on PlayStation, I would love to do some video game streams with conversation because I just do streams on my YouTube. And for all of y'all, go to the YouTube channel. I do video game live streams too, but it's just usually me myself. And we can talk sports. At me. Sports for sure. So, with that, y'all, again, thank you for listening. It's been a long haul, but thanks for sticking with us through all of this. And we will catch y'all next time. Peace.